All right, let's get right into it. Think about all the choices you make every single day. What to eat, what to watch, who to connect with. But here's a thought. In a world that's more and more guided by predictive systems, how many of those choices are actually yours? That's the big question we're going to tackle.
You know, it all kicks off with this incredibly tempting promise, one that's laid out perfectly in the movie Minority Report. Just imagine it, a world so safe, so perfectly managed, that murder itself is a thing of the past. It sounds like a dream, right? A perfect society, all thanks to technology that can see the future.
But there's always a but, isn't there? That kind of perfect safety, well, it has a hidden cost. So let's pull back the curtain on this so-called utopia and take a hard look at the invisible handcuffs holding it all together.
To get to that perfect society, something had to give, and that something was privacy. In the world of the film, you are watched. Always. Iris scanners track you from the moment you step on the subway. Stores greet you by name, pushing personalized ads in your face. There's no hiding. Every single person is an open book to the system.
And this is where it gets a little too real, because that sci-fi idea builds a direct and frankly pretty chilling bridge to our own world. The film's constant iris scans, that's just the early version of what we now call a universal digital identity. And you have to understand the consequence of this. When every part of your life, your money, your health, your reputation, is tied to a single digital profile, freedom is no longer a fundamental right. It becomes a privilege, one that can be switched off with the click of a button.
And that brings us to the core of this whole thing. A system that doesn't just watch you, it actively predicts what you're going to do and steps in before you can do it. Welcome to the world of the algorithmic oracle. The key idea here, the theory we're really digging into, is something called algorithmic determinism. Basically, it's a system where AI creates a sort of economic pre-crime. It looks at your data profile and makes huge decisions about your life for you before you even get a say, all for the sake of making things, well, more stable and efficient.
Okay, so what does that actually look like in practice? Let's make it real. Imagine you've been saving up, you've done the research, picked out the perfect car. It seems like a simple personal choice, a straightforward purchase, but is it really?
You're ready to sign on the dotted line. But before you can, the system's master AGI steps in, and the answer you get is just no. Simple, final. Your desire, your plan, it's been vetoed.
So why? Well, the system's logic is ice cold. It's not about what you want. It's crunched all the numbers, it's looked at your entire data history, and it has calculated an 85% chance that you'll default on your payments. Or maybe it's predicted you'll use the car in a way it deems improper. From its point of view, your purchase just isn't optimal for the whole of society. Your personal desire, to the system, that's just statistical noise that needs to be filtered out. This isn't just getting your loan denied. This is economic pre-punishment.
And that right there, that gets to the very soul of this kind of system. From a technocratic viewpoint, all the messy, unpredictable parts of being human, chance, free will, making a sudden, passionate decision, that's not what makes us special. It's a bug in the code. It's noise that messes up the data, and it has to be eliminated to create a perfectly predictable, totally manageable society.
So, you have to ask yourself, how on earth did we get to this point? Was this slide into algorithmic control just a natural, unavoidable evolution? Or was it all part of a deliberate, planned script from the very beginning? Back in the movie, the guy who created the whole pre-crime system, Lamar Burgess, he justifies having this absolute power by saying it's all for the common good. And that's the oldest warning in the book, isn't it? The biggest systems of control are almost always sold to us as being for our own protection. This really breaks down the two ways you can see our current path. On one side, you've got the lens of evolution, the idea that this system wasn't really built, it was born out of necessity, that AI was just the tool we needed to manage a complex world. But then, there's the lens of the script. This view says no, this wasn't an accident, this was a deliberate architecture of control, and AI isn't some solution that just appeared, it's a very specific piece being moved on a very large chessboard.
Now here's the lesson, the thing I really want you to take away. The big twist in Minority Report is that the perfect system was a fraud from day one. It was built on top of a founding lie, a secret that was buried to make it look infallible. And that's the real warning. Any system that claims perfection, any system that tries to stamp out dissent and human error is probably hiding a deep, fundamental corruption right at its very core.
And that leads us to the final and I think most urgent question of all, one about our own world right now.
When things go wrong, when we feel like our choices are being taken away, are we just seeing some temporary bugs, just a few flaws in a system that's still a work in progress?
Or is it something else entirely? Is it possible that the freedom we think we have is actually just part of the program, a simulation designed to give us the illusion of choice, just to keep us calm while the real decisions are being made somewhere else?
A system like this sees our unpredictability, our desire to disagree, as a bug that needs to be fixed, a line of code that needs to be deleted. But what if that bug, what if our ability to defy the prediction is the very thing that makes us human? So I'm going to leave you with this one question to carry with you. The very next choice you make could be anything. What to buy, what to believe. Stop and ask yourself, is this choice being optimized for me, or is it genuinely, truly my own?